Making disciples in the community, making disciples. Welcome to DC3. Making disciples in the community. Welcome to DC3.
Listen, get on in here, get on in here. Y'all already know what time it is. It's another time for Marriage University, y'all. Y'all ready?
We ready.
Oh, let me tell y'all, we got one of the hottest couples in here. Y'all know I love raw, relevant, real, engaging conversation. I think we're going to have some real, raw, relevant, and engaging conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm going to let this wonderful couple introduce themselves in just a few minutes. But I want y'all to get in here. And when you get on in here, go on, click that share button, because we need to meet our goal and get at least 100 shares. Y'all know how we do it. Family, friends, DC3, 100 shares. Hit that share button, because just like you want some encouragement. You know somebody needs to be encouraged. A married couple needs to be encouraged. Singles, I know you tuning in. You got to see what's going on with this marriage stuff. So singles, get your single friends on here. We don't discriminate just because it's for the couple's marriage. We say Marriage University. You can go on and chime on in too. Hit that share button, because we want to keep on assisting and reaching the world around the world right here at DC3. Okay? Now, before I let this wonderful couple introduce themselves, I do want to give you what's going on with DC3. I have a few announcements, and then we're going to get this thing popping, all right? Now, let me tell you, I am so excited. We've been saying this for the last 2-3 weeks. We're getting ready to come back into the building, y'all. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all excited?
We're excited.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting ready to come back into the building this Sunday, Mother's Day. This Sunday, May 9th. What a wonderful time to get back up and through here, okay? Now listen, I got some information to give to you if you want to join us, because we're going to have 2 services for this Sunday, coming back, re-entry, okay? We're going to have an 8 a.m. and we're going to have a 10:30 a.m. service. But you got to do some stuff before you think you can come rolling up and through here, okay? You have to sign a waiver, and then you have to RSVP, okay? Now, you can find all of that lovely information for our waiver and your RSVP for you and however many guests you want to bring. You want to bring your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, friends on the job, whatever. Go to our DC3 app, or you have to sign it. You just can't come up in here. We're going to have someone at our information table. When you enter the building, they're going to be checking for your name, checking for that waiver that is signed. So get on our DC3 app, sign that waiver, RSVP, whoever is coming, your guests, volunteers, you know what to do. I'm a volunteer. I have to sign the waiver as well. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to be volunteer for both services. So if you're volunteering, you got to sign the waiver twice for both services, and you got to RSVP for both services, okay? I just don't want y'all to be surprised if y'all come up and through here, y'all don't see your name on the list. So, we're going to handle business about that too. But it's in love, okay? So if you forget anything I just said, get on our DC3 app, go on our website, dc3online.org, get that information, see how you can sign up, RSVP, and sign that waiver, because we're excited about coming on up in here this Sunday for our 8 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. services. Okay? Now, if you don't want to come inside the building, pastors allowed us to have like tailgating. You can still get on the parking lot. You understand what I'm saying? That you don't have to sign a waiver for. Anytime you're in the building, you got to sign a waiver and you got to RSVP. But if you just want to be on the parking lot, listen, we got you taken care of. You can view it from your car. You understand what I'm saying? Have a parking lot party for yourselves and your friends and your family. Also, we'll have a special radio station that you can tune in and listen to, or you can view it online. We're still going to be online. Facebook, our website, dc3online.org. You can do that from home online, or you can be in the parking lot doing online and listen to it on the radio. Okay? All I'm saying is you got options, okay? So get on our DC3 app, get all of that information. And anyway, we have more wonderful announcements. That's all I'm going to give you right now, because I'm ready to get into this. So check out the website, dc3online.org, and check out our app, DC3 app, for more information about our other announcements and what's going on for our service on Sunday. Also, don't let me forget, if you're coming up in here for the services, we're going to be practicing social distancing, and you're going to have to wear a mask. We want to be safe, okay? It's for our safety. We love you, though. All right? Now, guess what? I'm gonna let this couple introduce themselves. This is what we're gonna be talking about tonight, family and friends. Loving your spouse, my goodness, when you're hurting. Loving your spouse when you're hurting. Because some of y'all trying to figure out how I do that. I don't even want to do that sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? So let me let this couple introduce themselves. I'm going to start. I'm respectful for the men. I'm going to let the men go first. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Tell us your name and tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then come over to the wonderful lady, and we'll do the same.
All right. Well, my name is Oscar T. Lewis Jr., and I'm originally from Abilene, Texas, and I'm very excited to be here.
All right. All right.
Well, I am his wife, LaShonda Lewis. We're not doing the whole middle age.
Okay. All right.
LaShonda Lewis, and I am also from Abilene. Wasn't born there, but I'm from Abilene, and I'm excited to be here.
All right, good. All right, so I want to let the people know, since we're going to do this real relevant and raw conversation, because I want to be engaging. Now, don't forget, y'all, put those comments in that box. If y'all have a question, y'all want to, give some feedback or comment, we want to hear from y'all, because I know y'all going to have a lot to say during this little session right here. So I want y'all to tell me the goods on it,
Right.
How long y'all been married, first of all?
We've been married for 25 years.
25 years.
25 years.
25 years, okay.
That's right.
Where did y'all meet?
Well, we first met. The funny thing is, we're both from Abilene, but we actually met in Midland at a track meet.
Okay.
I just was, I would just happen to be walking. We was at a track meet. Of course, was in high school. I'm walking around. I think I was, was I 16? You was 15 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, just being real. So just walking down on the track meet.
Yeah.
And then this chick approached me. It wasn't her. It was somebody else. And she came to me and she was like, "Hey, there's this girl sitting up in the stands, and she says that you're sort of cute." I was like, "For what? What? Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, you want to go talk to her?" I was like, "Yeah." So this chick, she took me up, and I saw LaShonda sitting there, and she was looking all bashful and stuff like that, and she was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hello, my name is Oscar," and I introduced myself, and I asked her what classification she was, and she didn't know what that meant at that time. So anyway, to make a long story short, that's how we met. We met out of town.
We come from the same city.
And we come from the same city.
So y'all were in high school?
Yeah, we met in high school.
Pretty much. So does that add up? Is he telling the truth?
Yes. The thing is how he just introduced himself, Oscar T. Lewis Jr.
I did.
Is how he introduced himself to me at 16 years old.
What you think about that when he just was like...
That was something different.
Okay.
Because literally the girl had actually come up and was just talking to me or whatever, and then she was like, do you think anybody's cute? I literally happened to see him and I was like, oh, he seems kind of cute. I was floored when they came up. I was like, what? But anyways, but it was crazy when we actually started talking and found out that we went to rival schools.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
But we came from the same place and met out of town. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with this, because you say you've been married for how long?
25 years.
Now somebody's gonna say, and you're a young couple too. This is what I love. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people want to know, out of those, 25 years, how's it been? You had some good days, you had some ups and downs. So is communication real, important, for that long length of time? So how do y'all communicate? We're talking about, when your spouse is hurting. Say, for instance, out of all that time, because y'all get to know each other real good. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Probably can finish each other's sentences. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yes.
So when one spouse is down, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're going through some type of hurt, maybe you lost a loved one, somebody's died, you understand what I'm saying? Not feeling real good, somebody, blasted you at work, or you got, your walking papers, you know what I'm saying, fired. So you real down,
Right.
work related, loved one,
Yeah.
money ain't flowing right, you don't know how the bills don't get paid. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, one is down, not feeling all that well, so they might, need a little encouragement. But the other spouse might be like, okay, I need to say something, but how do you communicate to get that other spouse up? And I'll just let whoever wants to go first.
Well, I'll go ahead and jump first. When my wife and I, we first got married, we had only been married for maybe, a couple of years, like a year or two, and her father ended up passing away.
Okay.
And of course that relationship and stuff sort of complicated, but of course she was very upset, very sad. And I still was getting to know her, even though we were married.
Okay.
So, initially.
And we had 2 children already.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't waste any time. Anyway.
Wow.
So of course she was hurt, and the way that I handled it was I just sort of watched her. I talked to her and I sort of guided her. I didn't tell her how she should feel.
Okay.
I think one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of couples make is the fact that they try to tell the other person how they should feel.
Oh.
Yeah. So instead of trying to tell her how she should feel, I just supported her.
Okay.
We just went on walks. If
Okay.
she wanted to talk,
Okay.
she talked. If she didn't, she didn't.
Okay.
But either way, I was just there.
You were just there.
Absolutely.
So and you vice versa.
Okay, so he's actually lost a couple people, but I want to go to another situation we've actually dealt with when he lost his job.
Okay.
And he was the sole provider.
Sole
So
provider.
here we are, 3 children.
Mhm.
He's the sole provider. He
Yeah.
calls me up and it was like, I've just been released. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I've just been laid off. It was like, no, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
He's like, I have. And of course, my whole thing is, you're the sole provider. Well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, thank God he had a ride home so I can get myself together.
Yeah.
Because the last thing
Mhm.
that somebody needs when you already know they're going through,
Yeah.
he already knows that he's the sole provider. There's no telling all the things that he was actually going through. So I allowed myself to get it together before he got home. I went through
Okay.
what in the world? Oh my, I had the whole freak out
Okay.
before he came home.
Wow.
So when he came in the door, I was quiet and I let him lead that to
Okay.
see where he was.
Okay.
Because he could have came in really upset. He could
Right.
have came in just completely quiet. I wasn't sure how he was going to be, but I knew the weight of the world was on his shoulders. And I knew the last thing that he needed was for me to jump on his back.
Wow.
So that wasn't easy, but I'm also a thinker on my
Yeah.
feet.
Okay.
So I was instantly like, okay, this is what I need to do. I'm going to make sure the kids are fed. We're going to make sure this rent is paid. We're going to make sure. So I was like, bop, 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 bop. So when he was ready, all right, I got a plan. You're going to get when you get your check, this is what we're going to do. While you look for this, I'm going to use the resources that we have around the community
Yeah.
so we can make sure that these things keep flowing.
Right.
And I knew he was going to go and find a job because
Yeah.
that's what he does.
Right. So what I'm hearing is fill out the other person.
Correct.
You understand
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Fill
Right.
out your spouse to know when is it time to communicate.
Correct.
When is it time to open up about stuff? You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give your spouse a moment. But in all of your 20 plus years of being married, you already know. You know what I'm saying? You already know when it's time to step in and say something, or just let them have a moment to
Right.
themselves.
Well, we've already been there and done
Yeah.
that. And we've had the whole when you didn't.
Yeah.
And no one's listening to each other. You're
Yeah.
just literally waiting so you can hurry up and make your next point and you're going nowhere.
Yeah.
When you have to do something and you've got life big decisions going on, you don't have time to sit there and just yell and fuss and
Yeah.
you're not getting anywhere.
Okay.
So we really, because both of us kind of came from dysfunctional families, one of the things we knew right even before we got married is that's not what we want to do.
Okay.
So even when things would start to get way too heated, we would stop and be like, you know what, let's park for a minute. No leave, but we're going to park for a second and then we're going to have this conversation because what we don't want to do is mirror what we came out of.
Yes, that's good. That's good. So, do you like gifts?
I
Do you like your husband to show forth love to you and affection
Yes,
to
I
you,
do.
whatnot? Okay. So, what are some of the things that you like for your husband? How do you like your husband to show his love for you?
It is about thoughtfulness. It really has no bearing on what it is, how big it is. It's just the very fact that I know that at that moment he was thinking of me. That means the world to me.
Okay.
So he has done something so sweet. As a matter of fact, he did it a couple weeks ago where he wrote on a Post-it note. He put it in the bathroom, on my side of the bathroom, and he just put, I love you. You're going to have a great day.
Yeah.
And he went to work. So when I got up in the morning, that's the first thing I saw. That made me feel awesome.
Wow.
So it doesn't make a difference. It's not the big, it's really about, I know he's thinking of me. That makes me feel good.
That's so good. What about you? What does LaShonda do to you to make, this lady right here, she down for me. This lady love me still.
Well,
you know what I'm talking about?
You know something, honestly, there's like a long list, but I'll go ahead and chop it down a little
Give
bit.
us the list. We want the inside.
One of the first things is the fact that she speaks my love language. In
Okay.
other words, she knows, like for instance, a touch is something real big to me. Like a simple touch, something like that. So, every now and then she just touch my head, just touch me. And that relaxes me. But then, of course, there's other things that she does. Like, for instance, like sometimes I might have to get up at 3 in the morning to go to work. She'll hop up, she's like, hey, I got you. I'm going to make you lunch. I'm going to cook for you. This is like in the middle of the night. I don't ask her to do this.
That's
this
good.
is just something that she does.
Okay.
And then also, I always know that she has my back no matter what. Something that my wife and I, that you will never see us do is publicly bash each other. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We have each other's back. So I mean, that's something else that I really appreciate about my wife.
That's good. So it sounds like with showing, how often do y'all show forth like that type of love for each other? Like, do y'all do date nights and all of that? You know, maybe go on trips or
we
out
had to
to
be a lot
eat?
more purposeful about that because the hard thing is after you've been married for a while, you get into a routine, especially when you have children and you have other activities. Our schedules are very busy.
Okay.
Between work, between church, between children, between just all our different things, we have very busy schedules.
Okay.
So you can get in this the rut of life just going through, and then you realize you've given things to everybody else,
Yes.
and you kind of start to take your partner for granted.
Okay.
And we literally have to say, wait a minute, we have not. And you'll start to see it because we start to become impatient with each other.
Wow.
So then we'll start to notice we haven't been connecting. We've been like in the same space.
Okay.
We haven't been connecting because now we're starting to get on each other's nerves. It's like, what is this about?
Okay.
And normally it's because we haven't actually connected with each other.
Okay. So you say, I mean, how many children do y'all have?
3.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure at some point in time y'all like to spend some quality time together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You say you have 3 kids.
Yes.
Now, have you ever? You said since you have the busy schedule, you have to choose. You know how you coordinate with spending alone time because you don't want to leave. And I know you have an older daughter. Well, she's not older. You have a grown daughter too, right?
3.
Yeah, okay, 3 grown daughters. Okay. But even when they were children, you know, with the busy schedules that you have, you know, trying to get the children together, you understand what I'm saying? Y'all together, y'all still need that time to still keep this marriage, you know, the fire burning, you understand what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that in a minute, you understand what I'm saying? So did y'all ever feel like, dang, you know, I know we're not connecting like we need to. We do need to get, you know, spend some time together, quality time without some interruptions, no matter what it is that you do.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever think that the kids got in the way of y'all spending quality time?
Oh,
You know?
absolutely.
And then what did y'all do about that?
Absolutely.
I'm knocking their door.
Then and now.
Yeah, then and now. When they were small, grown, it's the same thing. I mean, they still will call us, still will text us, whatever. Well, one of the things that we did when they were younger is, fortunately we had some help as far as having other people, like family members, to be able to watch our kids.
Okay.
Like we were planning like a little getaway. No, nothing real big.
Yeah.
You know, just to go to a hotel and a restaurant or something like that, just to get out. You know, sort of like date nights. That's something that we did.
Okay.
And then now, you know, even though we have grown kids, what we do is we put away our phones when we're going out somewhere.
Okay.
You know,
okay,
so that way, because they will constantly call us.
Okay.
You know, just need us for different things.
Okay.
But we try to make sure that we're intentional about spending quality time together.
Right.
Oh, that's good. Now you said intentional, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because y'all helping somebody right now because they trying to figure out why, you know, they still having conflict or whatever. So talk to the viewers, you know, tell them, you know, about this intentional. You got to be intentional about, you know, spending and connecting. How important is that? I let one of y'all, one of y'all.
When you say intention, it literally is, you have to decide this is what you're going to do. And when you decide, that's when everything happens. Something's happening with my mom and she needs me. Something's going on at work. The children, I got to do something, volunteer somewhere. It's like there's always all of these different things that are like trying to come against it.
Yeah.
And then you have to put the boundaries. Like even when the last time, a couple days ago, we decided we're going to spend time together, the girls are just blowing us up for all different types of things.
Yeah.
And I literally answered the phone, are you okay? Are you on fire? If you're not, we will talk to you later. But Mom, it's going to be okay. We're going to be unavailable for a little bit. I will call you back. And I hung up the phone and turned it on silent and turned it over.
Ooh, I think that's good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, the same thing. It's sort of like one of those things to where once we make a plan to spend some time together, you know, we stick to it. Now, we don't totally just like disengage as far as from the phone because, you know, we do have family. We want to make sure that our kids are good. But just like my wife says, you know, they call, you to be like, hey, you good? You all right?
Yeah.
And then we put it down. Because, you know, no matter what, I'm going to make sure to get to know my wife.
Did you hear that, brothers? Did you hear that, man? You ought to give him a high five or something like that. She love that man, okay? He love that woman. I love it, okay? Now listen, let's talk about it. Because you said something earlier, LaShonda. You said y'all, you know, some stuff that annoys y'all, you know. What, y'all had them type of problems? Y'all get on each other's nerves?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Tell me one thing about Oscar that just annoys you, that just gets on your nerves. You just like, if you do that, you just, come on now. Yeah, because his face looks so sweet. I can't even imagine him getting on nobody's nerves. Come on now.
Well, let me help you.
Okay.
One of the things is whenever we say we're going to talk about something, and I will say, okay, this is what's happening, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
He'll say, okay, well, we'll talk about it later. I'm sitting there waiting for later. You know, it's the next day, it's tomorrow, it's later. And I'm trying to wait, like, okay, I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to ask about it.
Yeah.
2 days go, 3 days go. Now we're into like maybe like a week, and I'm like, dude. So when I bring it up,
Ooh, she said, dude. Come on.
dude, like it's a whole week, and you said. So when I'm like, okay, well, what do you think about such and such and such and such? Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
Well.
Talk about what?
Okay.
Drives me insane.
Okay.
So he'll say, yeah, let's talk about it now. Well, or with those words, I didn't think about it, and I'm like, well, what? Why did we put a pin in it if you weren't going to think about it? So he's trying to get better, but that's still something that drives me bonkers.
Okay, cool. What about LaShonda? Did she get on your nerve? Tell me how you did it.
The biggest thing with her is my wife, she's misplacing things a lot. Like she always expects me to find her phone or her keys. Like I might be sitting down, watching a movie, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
She'd be like, hey, I can't find my keys. I was like, well, where'd you put them at? She's like, well, I don't know. And then she'll stand there and wait for me to go help her find the stuff. So she's always asking me to find her stuff that she misplaced.
Wow, that just burns you, don't it?
Yeah, sometimes.
So how do y'all work through that, get on each other's nerves? Because has it ever been a time when y'all done got on each other's nerves that it's just turned into like a heated argument?
It used to be where we would like go back and forth, but once again, you realize it's not going anywhere. You're just walking around all upset, and then you still didn't get what you needed to get done.
Yeah.
So I tell him, the faster you help me, even when he rolls his eyes, the faster you help me find these keys, the faster I can leave to do what I got to do. And then I'll be out of your hair.
Look, was you being sarcastic when you say that?
But it works.
It works. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about this. Let's shift it a little bit, because I know that we all, Christians, and still, there are some who are not Christians. But let's talk about this. You said 20. How many years y'all been together?
25.
Now, out of all of that, you can't tell me, or you might be able to tell me, has it ever gotten out of that 20 plus years that you're, the intimacy level? You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all a married couple. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that when you're married that long, they're like, okay, where the fire's like going out, as far as being intimate with one another. You know what I'm saying? And have you ever thought, look, this level of intimacy, we're making time, being one-on-one with each other, getting cozy with one another, laying up with one another. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're married. You understand what I'm saying? Has it ever gotten stale? Has it ever gotten boring? If so, what have y'all done to keep it like interesting and it's just burning like when y'all first got together and first got married?
Right. Once again, it's all about having being very intentional.
Okay.
Because you're right. We're human. We've been married for 25 years, been together for almost 30 years. If you include the time before we got married.
Aging us. She just said we were young.
So yeah, I mean that has come a point in time, in a relationship, to where things were we wasn't getting to know each other, consistently.
Y'all know what that means. Come on now.
But the thing is, we both recognized it, and we talked about it.
Okay.
We made a plan.
Okay.
We had to plan it out. It's like, hey, we're not connecting because when you don't get to know each other like you should, it causes issues in other parts of your relationship.
Okay.
Like a lot of times, you start arguing more of the silly stuff, and so that was just something that we really focused on, just trying to get better.
Yeah.
And it was different when we were younger because the kids were young.
Okay.
So then you got the distractions of children and all of that, and then by the time you finished the end of the day, the last thing you wanted to do was think about that, but it still had to be a priority. Okay. Now that the children are older, they need different things, and our schedules are so busy, we have to say, but we're still in this thing. He's my best friend, but listen, you need to be more than just friends. Yeah. Like the friendship is what gets you through the hard times.
Yeah.
The friendship is when things happen, health, death, different things that are happening in your family, like when he lost his mom and dad. Okay. When those things happen, your friendship is what is going to help to hold you. But you still have to get to know each other, as the Bible says.
Okay. So do y'all give me your idea of, just tell us, in your own words, just be real with us. What's a romantic evening for one of y'all when y'all want to, let's reconnect again, what I'm saying? Like when you feel like, okay, we're not connecting, it's kind of getting stale, kind of getting boring. Yeah. Who will initiate and be like, okay, well, Marvin Gaye said, let's get it on. You understand what I'm saying? Is it like you know, somebody look at each other, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all got a signal, you know what I'm saying? Just help us out. So, especially for the single people. This is what you got to look forward to. You understand what I'm saying? It's some hope for you. You understand what I'm saying? Come on now.
Well, the first thing is, you know, like we said before,
Yeah.
you have to know what your spouse's love language is.
Can you dig it?
You know, because the thing is, if I try to speak to her in my love language, as far as trying to get her to know me, it's not going to work.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Okay.
So, like for instance, like I know one of her love languages is quality time. So I make sure that I spend some quality time with her.
Okay.
You know, talking, and then also just being thoughtful.
Okay.
You know, like for instance, like maybe making a nice bath. You know, with the candle lights.
Your
You
mouth,
know, with the candle lights. And then give her a good massage, you know, as far as my back and stuff like that. She got a tight back, you know, stuff like that. You know, just and then just really setting the stage. It's an all-day thing. Sometimes it may take a couple of days, to be honest.
Yes.
You know, so but you know, just start planning that and then just be consistent with it.
Okay.
Yes, I will say that music. We love music.
Okay.
So I can already tell when he's thinking about it. Even if our schedules are passing each other, I know by the music choices in the car, in the room, I can kind of tell, like, okay, so I'm starting to shift.
It's
So we're like this. In the next day or so, it's going down.
Yeah, because maybe that's one thing for a couple that's viewing in. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't even have to be married for a long time, you know, 20 plus years. They could be married for 5 years, 2 years, and it's already gotten stale.
Right.
So help them again, how you know, tell them again how they can reconnect. Just give them some simple stuff on what to do. You know what
I
I'm
know that
saying?
his love language, one of his love languages is touch. So he knows by the different touch. I could just give him, this is just gentle, but then there's a touch that us ladies know. There's a different touch that he knows, hey, I got you, I see you, I feel you, and if you want to connect later, I'm open.
Yeah.
There's a different touch. There's a different feel.
Right.
So making sure, once again, it really is, I think one of the issues that people go through is they give love the way that they receive love.
Yeah.
And marriage is so selfless in the fact that you really have to give love the way they receive it.
Wow.
Not the way you do. And so
That's
it
key.
really is something that's why we keep saying the word intentional. Because that's not the way you do things.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not the way I would do it, but it's not for you. It's
Not
for
for
them.
you. It's for
So
them.
the best thing you could do is do it for them.
That's
This
good.
is the way. If he comes home and, you know, me going, and one of the things we did when we first, probably when the girls were in elementary, I stopped the whole just throwing the kids at them and going in with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
I even stopped the girls from that. So they would go, speak to him, love on him, hey daddy, da 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 da. I'd give him a kiss, and then I'd give him his space. He gets however much time, 15, 20, 30 minutes for him to unwind, to switch.
I love it.
So he'd make the switch. So when he came back out of that room, that he knew he's got 3 girls and a wife. All bets are off.
Yeah.
But then it gave him a time to be ready for that. So I realized how much that meant. He could give me what I needed, but I had to first give him what he needed.
Wow.
So it really is a give and take. It seriously is. Sometimes I realized that I was like, well, I need this, da 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 da, you know, the whole list of all the things I needed. And I realized I could get that if I just took a step back and said, okay, this man needs to switch. He's a manager. He's had people in his face, in his ear, dealing with things all day long. Let me give him 20, 30 minutes or whatever just to be by himself, to do what he needs to do. So when he comes out, now he's telling me he's ready to engage. And it changed everything.
Wow. Okay, well tell me about this, because you have some viewers as well. We're doing real talk, right?
Yes.
You have some that say, okay, maybe, you know, we have a female, you know, she's married and, you know, she's mad at her husband. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she already know. I know what he like in that little bedroom action. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm mad at him or whatever. I'm going to shut that down. You understand? As a punishment. You got what I'm saying?
Right.
Do y'all feel that that's fair? Or does she have the right to do that? You understand? And then what would y'all base that on? You know, for her to shut it down? Because, I mean, is that the right thing to do in their relationship? Is that going to solve anything?
It's not. It's actually only going to cause more tension and actually cause more issues and problems. Because here's the thing. Once again, he's been a manager, so that he's around females all day long. There is some little something that's always ready at all times.
Okay.
I'm not a jealous woman, but I'm also not the woman who's stupid enough to realize that if I'm not taking care of myself, all of a sudden it's going to make him pay attention to something that she was doing.
Okay.
So if I take care of mine, I don't have to worry about her.
Wow. Okay. What you got to say about that?
Well, really, one of the biggest things is something that my wife and I that we decided a long time ago is we don't go to bed angry with each other.
Okay.
I mean, that's something that we don't believe in.
Okay.
You know, even if we've been sort of at each other all day long.
Yeah.
By the time we go to bed, we try to make sure that that's squashed. Now, that has, like, for instance, like a few years ago, you know, we went to bed or whatever, and I was cool, but I didn't realize my wife was still upset.
Okay.
So we got into bed, and she got into bed, but like in the middle of the night, I noticed, you know, I rolled over and she wasn't there. I was like, what's going on? So I went to the front and she was laying on the couch. So what I did was I went and I picked her up and I brought her back to the room. Yeah. And she was good with that. And why was you good with that?
It's kind of hard to still be mad at him when he picked me up. I mean, I'm just saying.
Was that a turn on?
Absolutely. I was so trying to be mad. I was in my feelings because he had told me early on, you can be in this bed with me and you can be as hot as you want to be, but you're going to be in this bed. Hold on to the end if you need to. Yeah. Put a pillows in, but you're going to be in this bed.
Wow.
So I strategically, I was so upset with him. I can't even tell you what it was because I don't even remember. Yeah. But I was determined. I was like, I can't do this. I waited till he went to sleep, grabbed my little covers. I was like, he is out. He's sleeping. He's snoring. Yeah. But he felt for me. So I was like, when I heard him come out, I was like, whatever. I'm not leaving, whatever. And I was like, I was so ready. Yeah. I was ready to argue. I was ready for it. And I was not expecting. He said nothing. He just picked me up. And then I was like, how you gonna be mad? You can't be angry after that.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this. So has there ever been a time, since we're talking about angry, you know what I'm saying? You got mad. You wanted to be mad. You know what I'm saying? Has there ever been a time where y'all, you know, were mad at each other? Something happened, you know, maybe somebody, when he said something, hurt each other's feelings or something like that. Or you just mad. You had an argument or whatever. Have y'all ever gone like days or weeks without talking to each other? You know what I'm saying? You know,
neither one of us believe in that.
Okay, so when you were mad at that instance, like you said, for you, what it did for you was he came and picked you up. So how would you handle? Because over this period of time, have y'all had arguments? First of all.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So how do y'all communicate? Who's the first one? Does someone come and say, you know, I'm sorry first, or recognize?
You know, it really depends on the person. It really does, because everybody's different. You know, every situation is different. Yeah. But as far as our relationship, sometimes it might be me that goes first, or sometimes it might be her. Yeah. The thing is like in the heat of the moment, when we're both very heated, we recognize that sometimes we got to split. Like, in other words, we have to walk away, but then we'll circle back a little bit later, you know, once we have a chance to calm down. But we always try to make sure to get, you know, a resolution before we go to bed. But we realize that sometimes we do have to give each other a little space.
And that time, it may be me cooking, and he does understand. Even though he got a hot meal, he understands the way you present that plate. Lets him know if I'm not very happy or not. Because you know how we do. We set the plate down, you have your little drink or whatever. It's like, here's your food, here's your drink, here's your napkin. I'm gonna be out here. Yeah. So by the time he comes out, he'll be like, dinner was good. What's going on? What happened? What did I miss? You know, he'll start asking me questions, or if he knows what it is, he'll say, hey, you know, this, I think probably what you're upset about is this or that or whatever. So we've been pretty good at that, but we realize that in the heat of the moment, sometimes you can't think. Okay. And because we've actually had tragedy that's happened in our past with, you know, whatever, we've seen people leave and then they're no longer here. Yeah. They got in a car, they got mad, they took off, and then they get in a car accident, they're no longer here. Right. You find out that they got ill or whatever. So we've been pretty sensitive toward that, saying, hey, we never want that to be us. Yeah. We can may even have to take a moment to you know, cool this off, because we've said, I'm upset with you and I've been mad at him and can't even tell him why. You're just annoying me right now. And he's like, you know what? Fine. I'm like, you be over there, I'm going to be in the room, or I have girl time. Thank God for friends. Okay. You're just like, you know what? I'm going to go out and go out with my friends, or I go work out. Yeah. I'll be back. I'm going to go work out. And then we're able to, because you have to argue about what the issue is, and not just
pull stuff from everywhere.
Yeah. And if you get into this, when you don't give that time to breathe, you just want the win. Yeah. You take a chance on just trying to win. Yeah. So when you realize that you're just getting too heated and you can't stay on topic, that's when it's time, because now you have the chance of going below the belt. No one can hurt you like your spouse can.
Wow.
Right.
So basically what I'm hearing, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, when you recognize that y'all, have a disagreement, or something is wrong, even if your spouse didn't come out and tell you this is what the issue is, somebody paying attention that something ain't right, and then you choose how you approach,
Right.
and the time frame that you approach. That's what's been working for y'all, right?
Yeah.
And because sometimes we actually cannot really discuss it because life happens.
Yeah.
He was, we actually pass each other a lot. Like, he may, because of his schedule. So he may go into work early one day or he may go into work late. And so we pass each other. It's like, listen, we really need to have a discussion. We found different modes of ways to discuss things. We've talked on Marco Polo so that I can get everything out I want to say. He can get everything out he wants to say. And then it's like, oh, I didn't even know that. So that's an app that you can actually just get on and express yourself. We realize that. Email, because sometimes text and emails don't necessarily work as well. But we've tried different things throughout the years to try to make sure that we get our point across and get it out. And so far, even the voice activation text, where you can actually say what you want to say in the text message, to be able to say, listen, for whatever reason, I think you took something I said wrong. I don't know what's going on, but we need to figure out a time where we can actually talk about it.
That's good. That's good. And let me ask you this, how is it? Because sometimes even when, like you just said, y'all don't want to talk to each other right away. Do y'all have an outlet of somebody that y'all can talk to? Or do you even talk to other people or get advice to other people when y'all going through a moment, whether it be an argument, you heated, or whether it be, how do I handle, my spouse, she's not feeling well, she's down, she's hurt. Do you have an outlet to talk to someone or what they say, do you let other people in your business? How do y'all handle other people giving advice to y'all in y'all's marriage, or just having an outlet to speak to somebody else when you know you can't talk to your spouse?
Right. Well, one of the things that I use for an outlet is I like to take a lot of walks.
Okay.
That's something that she understands, and when I walk, it gives me time to sort of process about whatever it is that we're going through at that moment. As far as friends and stuff like that, sometimes we might talk a little bit, but I don't talk a whole lot about my marriage. I mean, I might mention some things, but then at the same time, I'm always aware of the type of people I'm associated with. Because a lot of these guys, they ain't trying to be married.
Okay.
So you have to sort of understand what their perspective is.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful about that. And then I also have a couple of brothers in the ministry that sometimes every now and then I might talk with. And then a lot of times we'll talk more on a godly level. But then at the same time we'll sort of drop it down and talk, on the real stuff too. But once again, there's only so much stuff I'm going to allow as far as into my marriage, as far as advice. Yeah. Because I don't want other people telling us how to run our marriage.
Do you think that could be an issue? Someone else coming in and telling y'all how to run your marriage?
Absolutely.
How do you think that could be an issue?
Absolutely. Well, I must go back to when we first got married, and both of our families really had a lot of input as far as our marriage. As a matter of fact, my wife and I, we had a lot of disagreements when we first got married. Okay. But then we realized it was because of our parents. We were listening to our parents. Our parents were saying that, hey, she should be doing this, she should be doing that. And then her parents was telling her, he should be doing this, he should be doing that. And because them two were disagreeing, it caused issues in our marriage.
Wow.
It was even the verbiage, because there was some verbiage like, well, as a man. Now, first of all, you already know you've already crossed the line. When you start a sentence off with, as a man, I would think,
wow.
But the thing is, I remember this is early on in our marriage. He's like, you don't even talk like that. That's so-and-so. You've been talking to whoever. It was like, he knew I had been talking to someone. So then it was like, wait. You take you take advice like a filter. Yeah. You take that stuff in and you filter that thing out and you say, let me take the stuff that I actually can apply and mold it to what I can do for this relationship. Yeah. And everything else, let that stuff drain out. Because what you don't want to do is, my mama said, or my daddy said, or my cousin, or whoever, you're not married to them. Wow. So you take certain tips. And you may try it, but you have to alter that thing to your relationship.
Oh, that's good. Y'all want to add anything?
Yeah. Hey, no, she said it straight. I mean, that's right. I mean, sometimes you can't get some good advice, but at the same time, you have to realize what's good and what's trash.
Yeah.
You have to realize the difference between the two.
Especially if the person that you're talking to is not in a healthy relationship, or they are, bitter, or they have their own issues. If you know that they have if I was you, I wouldn't put up with that.
Wow.
What situation are you currently in?
That's good.
So then you have to think, are you telling me this based off of experience because you've learned a lesson based on that, or are you just sharing bitterness? So sometimes people speak from a place of bitterness, anger and frustration when they give advice, versus a place of, I learned this. This is a mistake I made, so let me share some advice with you on this. And when we share advice to other couples, we say, now listen, this is what worked for us. Try it. Talk about it. If it doesn't work, let it go to the side.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. I want to bounce over and shift a little bit because hasn't this been good? Listen, y'all need to be coming, putting them questions in the chat. Let us know what you've been thinking so far. Have they been helping y'all? They've been helping me. Okay. So I want to talk about insecurities. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time, that you've, experienced insecurities, in your marriage, thinking, okay, I haven't measured up, especially 25 years. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Or 30, y'all been together that long.
Yeah.
But in your marriage, have you ever thought, okay, dang, I don't know, man, I wonder sometimes if my spouse, is LaShonda going to leave me for somebody else? Do you ever get those thoughts, Oscar, or LaShonda, you ever get those thoughts? About Oscar, even with the love y'all have.
Right.
Has it ever been a question in your mind?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
She out, he out, both of them, they looking good, somebody else they looking at my groceries. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Has it ever been in your mind, dang,
Yeah, absolutely.
She might leave me for,
Well, one of the first things that my wife and I, that we recognized, especially when we first got married, is the fact that is that we had to accept the fact that we had our own insecurities.
Okay.
A lot of times our insecurities is what leads us to start thinking that our spouse might be doing something, or like we might you have to recognize your own shortcomings.
Okay.
And sometimes when you don't deal with your own shortcomings, it's going to make you think that your spouse is doing something else.
Wow.
You're projecting.
So you're projecting. Yeah, you're exactly right. And then something else, like we circle back to this, is the fact that my wife and I, we have eyes.
Okay.
In other words, we're human.
Yeah.
We recognize when somebody is attractive. And the thing is we both recognize that, but we don't trip about it. Okay. Sometimes we'll talk about it. We might be like, I said, that dude, he has a nice physique. I said, all right.
Okay.
My wife be like, yeah. I might see some lady and be like, she'd be like, you see that? That's like, I did. She's like, what you think about that? That's like, hey, that's not bad. But see, we have that type of relationship.
Yeah.
Because we keep everything open.
Okay.
In other words, we sort of know what each other's thinking.
And then I'll say, okay, that's enough of that. Okay, you can refocus. All right, bring it back. Don't stare too long. I gave you your pass.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to break your neck trying to see that girl.
Yeah.
I can see that she has a nice shape. I can see, go ahead and look. Oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that.
You can help somebody because some couples are not secure enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, I gave you your pass.
Right.
So recognizing that, okay, we can still look, but don't make sure you don't touch, make sure you don't engage. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So what I'm hearing is, insecurities do pop up in your mind. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's natural, that's normal.
Right.
Even, you ain't got to be married for that, but even in the marriage.
Yeah.
But y'all come together, you talk about it, is that what you do?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we talk about it, and the thing is we play around like that, but at the same time, we're not disrespectful.
Okay.
Like, in other words, I'm not going to be holding my wife's hand, and some lady walk by, I ain't going to be going around. I mean, that's disrespectful.
What they call the issue? If I could do that?
I'd be like this. Oh!
Yes.
I see you, some over there. Let me help you over here.
Yeah, so we're not disrespectful with
Right.
it. We recognize it, but we're not going to disrespect it.
But I can tell you that the times that we've actually had, for me, when I've had the most issues, is when I'm most insecure.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying projecting.
So when
I'm not feeling good about myself, and I'm feeling like, how us ladies are. I'm not feeling, my weight is right.
Okay.
Dress is not fitting, clothes are not fitting right.
Okay.
When he does, when I'm starting to feel like if I see something, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's probably looking. I realize that's when I have more issues with him.
Wow.
Because I'm projecting my own insecurity onto him. And
see.
so when I'm feeling like I got it together, I'm just like this. You can go ahead and look. but come on over here because this is what we doing right now.
That is so good. I mean, y'all just the realest. You understand what I'm saying? So talk to somebody, because you're saying sometimes your spouse doesn't even have to be doing anything. You understand? Doesn't have to even be looking at anybody, calling anybody, cheating, on you or anything like that. Right. You're saying it might have something to do with the spouse individual.
Correct.
Something that they're going through, and they automatically think, okay, well, Oscar, you doing this in your mind if you ain't got your insecurity checked. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? Shonda doing this if you haven't got your insecurity checked. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all not even doing that. So talk to someone on how to get their insecurities together. Maybe it's a past relationship they were in that they were hurting. You understand what I'm saying? Got dogged out, by the lady or the man or whoever they were with. You understand what I'm saying? And they let that go and they brought this over into the marriage.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be like a past relationship. For me, it was daddy issues.
Okay.
And so I had to realize that I didn't marry my father.
Okay.
And so it was not fair to make him pay for things he didn't do. So there were times I would just get an attitude just right off the bat because he said whatever and he's like, what's going on? Why are you upset about this? Well, then I'm projecting once again. It's like all the things I wanted to say or I felt about my father. I was then making him pay for all. That's not fair. He was like, on one day, I'll never forget it. He says, I didn't do that to you. I know this is what you saw, and I know you've not seen healthy relationships, but I've never done that to you. He was like, so if you're going to talk to me and we're going to have this, you're going to be upset with me about what I did. So he checked me hard, but I took it because, I bawled like a baby. But it was the best thing he could have done. He could have said to me because I was making him pay for things he did not do.
Oh my God! So no assumptions. You understand? Let's just put it on the table. That's basically what you were saying, and don't hold you accountable for that.
Right.
I love that.
He's like, I'm not taking that. He flat told me, I'm not taking that. I'm not doing that to you. If you're gonna be upset with me, be upset with what I have done. He says, but right now you're not talking to me. You're talking to your father.
So let's just nip it in the bud.
Let's just talk
about
what it is. Because we have been arguing. This is something this has gone on for like months, off and on, just with the same. We just kept having bickering arguments, and he started picking up on it. He was like, listen, something's up. So he's like, let's get to the root of what's really going on. Because we keep having these little stupid arguments that are turning into something big. Something else is deeper that's going on. So we need to figure this out. And it took us a while to figure it out. And I was like, well, when you say this, it makes me feel this way. And he's like, but I didn't mean it that way. So if I said that to you and it made you feel some type of way, why didn't you just say it? Well, then you feel stupid. You're like, well, I don't know. I just assumed.
There you go.
Or all of a sudden, but I'm assuming based on somebody else's actions. That's not fair.
Ooh, and that's unhealthy to hold another person accountable for something that they didn't even do. That is so good. I want to get to this question right here. Oh my God. See, we're still talking about insecurities. So y'all work with a lot of different people of the opposite sex. You understand what I'm saying? We talk about insecurity. Has it ever been a time where you were like, okay, or are you secure? Like we talking about, I know my husband works with all type of women. You understand what I'm saying? But are you secure to be like, okay, if I see him talking to somebody, close up or whatever, is your mind going to automatically think, why is he so close up talking, you know what I'm saying? To wander off, and it couldn't even be that what you're perceiving.
It's safeguards. I'm just going to be straight. You got to be smart about it. So it's like, because of the fact that he works in an industry where there's going to be lots of females, he makes sure that he puts safeguards, keeping the door open, having somebody else in the conversation, those types of things. So if, whatever, he doesn't go and have lunch with somebody, a female, to even have the perception of, or if I feel some type of way, it seems like she's calling a little bit much, or whatever the case is, I talk to him about it. I don't just sit up there and just be like, I say, what's going on, be careful. Because I know my husband. So it's like she could, she's got some attractive qualities. Not just because she's got a figure, but she's got attractive qualities. I'll call it out. This person has attractive qualities.
What's attractive qualities you're talking about? Like what?
It could be the fact that they are great at what they do. Great at, like they're go-getter, on top of it. Things that, I know that he finds attractive.
Got it.
Or I can sense that she finds him attractive. So while he's being straight, and just having a, conversation work related, or, he's a volunteer. So he's just talking about whatever, and she's,
Okay.
So I have had to help him out a few times.
Have you had to help Oscar out with this?
Absolutely. I have absolutely had to help him out.
Hold on, let me jump in.
Oh, okay.
No.
Jump in.
Well, no, something else that I want to say real quick
Okay,
too
okay.
is also when you talk about safeguarding, something that my wife and I do is whenever one of us feel like, hey, it might be a little something here with another person.
Okay.
It might not even be anything big. We talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife might be like, I really have been enjoying talking to so and so. We'll talk about it. It's like, okay, why do you feel that way? I say, do we need to watch this? I mean, we actually have discussions about that.
Good.
It's one of those things, putting everything on the table, being
Yeah.
real, because
Yeah,
we realize
yeah,
that we're human,
Yeah.
that we are going to have feelings.
Yeah.
So just to make sure that nobody falls, we talk about it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So how do you, like you're saying, so you build that up, you talk about it so it won't blow up into something else.
Right.
So that's how you get your security.
Well, you have to be honest. If you start seeing that you have to spend more time with, because let's just be real. In this industry, you have to, whether you're volunteering at church or whether you are working at work, there are times you have to engage with the same people.
Yeah.
Well, then you start to have different similarities and you start to find different things. You have to be like, okay, y'all are spending a lot of time together. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah.
Are you feeling like she's giving off vibes to you? And he might say, I feel like she's giving a few vibes about this. Okay, just make sure you watch it.
Okay.
And so he's like, okay, you're right. He'll come back later. I'm like, oh, girl is checking you out. I think she's feeling. He's like, no. And then he'll go, I was like, just pay attention. He'll pay attention. He'll be like, yeah, she kind of is. I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do about that?
That's good. So it's like, okay, basically we're going to come up with a strategy. So we
Strategize.
So it won't affect y'all's relationship in a negative way. That is
Right.
so good. Did you get that? Did you get that? You understand what I'm saying? Y'all been really helpful tonight. I got one more question
All right.
for y'all. This time is getting away from us. But we got time. I really want to get this in. So how do you feel? We talked about it a little bit earlier, getting some alone time, you know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all don't want to be breathing on each other all day long, you understand what I'm saying? So how do you, communicate to your spouse? I just need, to get away, I'm thinking about some stuff, I'm trying to handle some stuff,
Right.
or I just simply don't want to be bothered, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So how do you communicate your emotions and your feelings to your spouse so they won't be feeling some type of way? To let them know, listen, I don't feel like being bothered with you, but I do need to step away. You will want me to step away before we get back together. So I want both of y'all to answer that.
Right. Well, one of the things that I tell my wife is when I need some alone time, I just simply let her know, it's like, hey, so I just need to take a walk. I need to go clear my head. And she understands and say, hey, this don't have nothing to do with you or anything like that. I said, I just have a lot of thoughts. I just got some stuff I got to process. I said, when I get back, we can sit down and talk, whatever, but I just need this time. It's just a simple conversation like that for me.
Or sometimes, because I'll say, do you need to go watch a movie? Because we have different tastes in movies.
Yeah.
So I will say to him, I think it's about time. You probably should go and watch a movie
That's true.
in the other room.
Okay. So that's saying, give you your space.
You need space because I need space.
Yeah.
It's getting ready to get tense.
Yeah.
When we are like, it's just that, or I'll say, you know what? I think I'm just going to, because our girls are older. We started early, so our youngest daughter we had at 17.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, we're gonna go. Me and the girls, we're going out.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go to the store. Why don't you stay here and we'll leave? I'll leave with the girls. We'll go get some groceries. You stay here and chill out.
Okay.
So we sometimes we have to recognize her. He'll say, how long has it been since you went to go work out? Because working out is a big stress reliever for me.
Okay.
So he'll say, how long has it been? It's been a few, it's like it's been a few days. You show right. Let me lace up.
Yeah.
I'm going to work out.
So that's y'all's way of communicating, letting up, like LaShonda, okay, I'm going to need Oscar, don't follow me over here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to step away. And then you got, like, your same communication.
Yes,
I mean, being married for these years, y'all can, feed off each other. Y'all know, okay,
Yes,
it's time to take some deuces.
Well, we have a lot of nonverbal communication
Okay.
that gets established after you've been married a while.
Yeah.
A lot of these things that we're saying to you, we don't even actually say. It's nonverbal.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, we already know what that means. You probably should back. You probably should give me 50.
Yeah.
Not 6, 50.
Good. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's that nonverbal communication. But
Yeah.
we've been together for a minute. And of course, this happened over some years.
Yeah.
We just stuck it through. We made our mistakes as far as communication, but we figured it out. We got patient. We just kept asking each other's questions, and I think we're on a pretty good level right now.
That is
I think
so good.
And the rough patch lasted a long time. But we
did.
had children.
It did.
We've come from broken. Well, you know, I come from a broken home, and he's seen a lot of things in his family.
Yeah.
We made the decision that's not what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So even though we were in it, and there were times we were like, our friendship, we're committed to the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're not connecting. But what we gonna do? We're gonna show
We're
up
working.
every day, and we're
Wow.
gonna keep trying to figure this thing out. And we did go on walks. We did like, what can we do? We started, investing in each other. I watch movies I don't even like to watch.
Yeah. Okay.
I started watching sports I don't even like to watch, not even
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah.
We started making sure we were intentional about doing the thing that the
Yeah.
other person likes.
Yeah.
And then it was like we start laughing, and then you start remembering.
Yeah.
This is why, because he's a fool,
Okay. Okay.
Then you start remembering those things that connected you.
That is
Yeah.
so good. Listen, y'all. Y'all have helped the people. Hasn't they helped y'all tonight? Oh my gosh. Real relevant conversation, right?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
love it. I want to personally thank you.
Thank you.
Oscar Lewis, LaShonda Lewis for coming in for Marriage University. Listen, you know what? Before I say my last words, give me 30 seconds for both of you. Give me 30 seconds on what you want to say to someone to encourage them out of all that we've talked about tonight. Oscar, you tell someone, give them 30 seconds on how to encourage them in their marriage.
Really, the biggest thing as far as marriage is the communication piece. I'm pretty sure you heard a lot of that theme throughout this interview, but you guys got to be willing to listen to each other. Don't overtalk, and don't always try to win arguments, because sometimes when you win, you lose. So make sure that you're taking the time to listen to each other, communicate, and seek to understand.
That's good.
You've already decided that you've made the commitment to be together. So stick that out. Remember that your friendship is what you have to protect. Go back to why you guys connected together in the first place. And sometimes it's just something as simple as, let's just sit down and break bread together. Sometimes you got to go back to the simple things in order for you to deal with the bigger things.
Ooh, that is so good. Listen, I want to encourage someone, myself tonight, for Psalms 133:1 says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for us brethren to dwell together in unity. You know what that is? 20 plus years. It said how wonderful and delightful it is to be a unit, to dwell, to tarry together in a unit together. They just tear this thing on out. So that is an encouragement. Through the good, the bad, and the ugly, they still tarrying together, which means that's an encouragement for you. You can make it. Can they make it?
You
You
can make
can do it.
Listen, y'all talking to somebody, even if they've been married for 5 days, 5 years, 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If they fighting in 5 minutes, whoa. Listen, but y'all have encouraged them tonight, so
Yeah.
dwell together in unity. Keep this thing rolling. Y'all can do it. Listen, I want to just encourage you and just let you know, don't forget, as we roll up and get up out of here, our Sunday re-entry service. I talked to you earlier about it. Get on our DC3 app and find out what you need to do as far as to come in and register. You have to RSVP in order for you, and sign a waiver in order for you to attend one of these services this Sunday on Mother's Day for 8 a.m. or our 10:30 a.m. service. So get on our DC3 app, find out more information about that, plus find out more information about our other wonderful announcements that we have. If you want to give to this wonderful ministry, listen, we have ways that you can give. You can give through Givelify. You can text to give. Listen, you can even set a schedule, come up to the church, come up to the church and drop off your offering. You can even give on our DC3 app, on our website, dc3online.org. If you want to see this ministry continue to reach the lives of the people around the world and be a blessing because you love God and you want to see this ministry continue to make it and be a blessing to you, your household, and all those around the world. This has been a wonderful night, Marriage University. Guess what, singles? It's not over for you. You coming up next week, okay? So I know you tuned in tonight. You were blessed. You were helped. I have been Regina King, your host for this evening. We're going to get up out of here. Want to see you on Sunday. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, LaShonda. We are out of here. See you later. Bye.